Mm, 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 mm. Welcome to Premiere 7. I am your host, Ryan Nelson. And what a day it is. Today is a big day. Today is the 14th of June. And when I say the 14th of June, what comes to mind? It is the transfer window. With that being said, here, I must apologize for being a bit late as well. The show was supposed to start earlier than this, but I had a lot to do. So, today's show on Premiere 7 is all about the EPL summer transfer window officially opens, and this is going to be a general talk. So, as we all know, within the transfer window, even before the transfer window begun, there has been players that are said to be coming to a club. There are players that are said to even sign for a club before the window opened. Big names like Kylian Mbappe to Manchester United. I hope the Manchester United fans really and truly would like to have an idea or have some news about what will take place. Even Chelsea having news linked with Moise Caicedo and even Osimhen. Osimhen is on the list for Chelsea as well. But apart from the links to the clubs, how about the persons who have signed for a club? McAllister, Alexis McAllister, have signed for Liverpool. Why am I saying Chelsea? Maybe I'm because I'm in blue. But McAllister has signed for Liverpool for 35 million pounds. All right, so let's just do something general right now. General transfer talk 2023 into 24. Um, we all know that there has been teams that have been promoted from the championship. Teams like Lowton and Sheffield United have all made it to the Premier League for next season, and teams like Leicester City, Southampton, and I think Leeds United were relegated. So sad, but forget about the campaign of the season that has passed. Manchester City, they have clinched the treble, and it is absolutely amazing for them. So, I mean, I have spoken about the teams that have been promoted and some teams that have been demoted from the Premier League, and I believe that this new Premier League transfer window in the summer will be one up for discussion. I had to be on board because I made a promise that I'm going to be on board on Premier 7 to speak about the transfer window to the fans. And actually, I had to be a man of my words. So, big names, small names have been up there to talk about, to sign for their clubs, or to be there in the position to sign for clubs. And, I'm going to dive into some more details right away. So, apart from that, it's still a general talk, but there has been some rumors and there has been some confirmation. So I have some sources here in my system about players that are, let me say, rumored to be at a new club. So I spoke about Kylian Mbappe earlier on. So let me just talk about Mbappe generally. So Kylian Mbappe is the best player in the world, and I can tackle persons on that. And I'm going to speak about Kylian Mbappe being the best player in the world from, of course, an attacking position, not from a midfield position, not from a defensive, and especially not a goalkeeping position. Kylian Mbappe is said to be the best attacking player right now. Kylian Mbappe wants to leave PSG. There has been a news that was in circulation that he wished not to continue into 2025. It was a part of his clause for him to decide. And if he does not sign a new contract with PSG, then more so, he, Kylian Mbappe, would leave for nothing. So it could be a case of which Real Madrid is going to get Kylian Mbappe, but the Premier League that Kylian Mbappe is being linked to, the team is Manchester United, and I don't think Kylian Mbappe really and truly will be a part of Manchester United. I think that will be placed under the rumors category because no negotiation have been taking place, and everyone mentioned that Kylian Mbappe is a player that has ego. We all can remember what happened with Cristiano Ronaldo before, and it never went well. But Ten Hag is a top coach that I believe that if all goes well And with the news about the sale of Manchester United with Qatar in pole position to take over the club, it is not confirmed that Qatar has officially owned Manchester United, but they're in the race ahead of Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So if all goes well and Qatar becomes the owner of Manchester United, then Kylian Mbappe could be the player that they sign. But how about speaking about how does Kylian Mbappe fits into Manchester United system? He's a player that can play on the left wing, on the right wing, and we all know that he can play as a striker. But there are players that are in Manchester United's team that I think that needs to be brushed up because if Mbappe is going to be the number 9 and his price tag is about 130 million euros, if that is the case for Kylian Mbappe to play the number 9 for Manchester United, then I think players like Rashford, Anthony, Pelistri, hopefully, Garnacho, and I hope they bring back Ahmad. If those players aren't supplying him with the ball necessarily, then he will not be able to contend for the Ballon d'Or and all of those things. And I believe that Erling Haaland is the most considerable person to win the Ballon d'Or. Maybe Messi is the second person, or one or two of them will win the Ballon d'Or. But for me, Kylian Mbappe news is more so like a rumor. Because then again, why would Kylian Mbappe want to play for Manchester United and the sale isn't over and Manchester United is in a rebuilding process? I think Real Madrid will be more sort of confirmed club to get Kylian Mbappe. So moving away from Mbappe and let's speak about Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen is a top player. He won the Scudetto for Napoli. He's a Nigerian 24-year-old, similar month of birth and year old category as Kylian Mbappe. Is kind of similar in terms of being that main player up front to strike and to score a lot of goals. But then again, the club that he's linked with currently checked and I saw that Manchester United have Osimhen on their list. But before that, Chelsea wanted to get an Osimhen because what is happening with Lukaku. Lukaku, I believe, will stay at Inter Milan. Forget about the Champions League because I think Lukaku is a salt player. I think he needs to go to the sea and have a dip and wash off that salt that is on him right now. He needs the right salt water to be on his body to get away out of that bad luck position because really and truly, Lukaku is a player that I like to watch, but I think it comes to a point now whereas Lukaku needs to step up with some things. But the Champions League is for another day, not on this channel though. So back to Osimhen. Victor Osimhen is on the list for Chelsea because Chelsea needs a striker. Aubameyang never worked out. Sometimes Havertz. I think Havertz is the main player who scored the most goals for Chelsea. But guess what? How many goals is that? I don't think he even reached double figures last season. So definitely an Osimhen in Chelsea as a number 9. I think Chelsea system can work to accommodate Osimhen. They need some more signings though, but Pochettino as the manager for Chelsea will know how to get the best out of a player like Osimhen and those players around him. Speaking about rumors, let's speak about a confirmed deal. I spoke about McAllister earlier on. He signed for Liverpool for £35 million from Brighton. World Cup winner, young player as well. He's a good boy, as he said when I was watching a small view with him at Liverpool on his day of signing. He's a player that knows how to play in a system that is high paced. The Zerbi is a good coach. Before him, Graham Potter, who was managing Brighton, but McAllister shined under both managers. And for McAllister to be in Liverpool's system, Liverpool has been crying out for a midfield for more than 2 years. And with players like Fabinho, who is getting in age, not that vibrant Fabinho again, Thiago, I need a glass to break, but maybe it cuts something. I don't want to do that. But what I'm saying here is that Thiago is very injury prone. Um, Milner is confirmed. He has signed for Brighton, so he's off. So that is 3 midfielder that is not really in the system or out of the system for Liverpool. Naby Keita has gone as well. So on Liverpool's list, having a player like McAllister in your midfield, that is absolutely amazing. He can play as a number 10, he can play as a box-to-box player. So I don't think Anderson will be leaving. I think he may stay for another year at Liverpool, a year or two, as a captain. So, Anderson, Fabinho, and McAllister. Hopefully they can get a few more players in the club to at least boost that midfield. McAllister is a confirmed player at Liverpool. He'll be playing into the midfield. He'll be wearing the number 10 shirt. Speaking of Liverpool, Diaz, he's not injured again, so Diaz is still in the club for Liverpool. The front line isn't that bad. Maybe Liverpool wants to get a striker, but I don't think that is a priority. Mainly and truly, the midfield is their priority. Maybe they get a centre back or even a right back. I heard about Torra from the Bundesliga, who is on the list for Klopp, who is a midfield player. So maybe he can add some value and some boost to the midfield as well. Benjamin Pavard from Bayern Munich has been linked to Liverpool as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold maybe plays in a different position, similar to like a John Stone who plays in the midfield alongside Rodri. Maybe that is the best position for Trent. So that could be the possible case for him in a different system under Jurgen Klopp. And by way of that, really and truly, getting a Pavard could be placed on the right back position to help balance and stabilize the backline for Liverpool. So Manchester City, definitely have to speak about this club. There has been news in circulation that Gvardiol is on the radar for Man City. But Gvardiol in a City system would work on the left-handed side, but Manchester City has several defenders. They have, well, Ake is the left back really and truly, but Laporte, Diaz, Akanji, Stones, and if I forget anyone, me. But I think getting in a Gavardia maybe push Laporte out of the club because Laporte is left-footed, Gavardia is left-footed, and Gavardia is a top player as well at the age of 21, 22. Could come into the system and work well under Pep. So I think if they're gonna get in Gavardia, then I believe they were gonna get out of the club Laporte. And speaking about Manchester City, Kovacic is on the radar for Man City. Kovacic, even before the transfer window opens, Kovacic was really and truly one of those players who are on the list of Pep Guardiola. Not sure if it is going to be fully and truly covered up, but once Man City goes in for a player, then possibly they will get that player's signature. So I think Kovacic will bring really and truly stability, pace, and energy into the midfield to help them really and truly retain the Premier League and see if they can win the treble once more. So, what is your views in terms of the transfer window so far? As you can see, I have my towel here because it is a summer. It is very hot, but I'm not sweating. I just have to wipe my face at times. But the summer transfer window is one of the best, window period. So, of course, I want to bring the details to you all as it relates to what is taking place. So, a confirmed news as well was that of Yuri Tillemans. Leicester City was relegated and he has signed for Aston Villa. He will bring some form of stability in the midfield. I think Yuri Tillemans is a player of quality. A lot of clubs were linked to him, like an Arsenal, Manchester United, but his signature on paper for Aston Villa. That was a done deal. Kim Min-jae, as a defender, is on the list for Manchester United. I heard that he will not be deciding to stay with Napoli, even if they try to convince him he wants to leave. His release clause is less than 50 million euros, so he will be really and truly looking for an exit out of Napoli. He have won the Scudetto, and he wants a different challenge. He wants a better club to play for, and why not Manchester United? But Newcastle United is looking forward to get Kim Min Jae's signature, but I think a Manchester United would be a preferred option with Harry Maguire looking to leave. He doesn't want to leave, but Tottenham Hotspurs have registered interest in Harry Maguire, and Harry Maguire needs to leave Manchester United. It will be like a loss because Harry Maguire was signed for more than 75 million pounds. So we can lose something and get rid of a player like Harry Maguire and get the club in a better position to sign a Kim Min-jae, right? So speaking about Newcastle United, they're closing in to get the signature or to negotiate a sensational deal for one of the best midfielders in Inter Milan's team currently, Nicola Barella. Barella played Champions League final. Maybe not that great, but he's a top class player who can play very well in numerous position in field. His price tag is 50 million pound, so they could boost their midfield by getting Nicola Barella in. Um, this was really and truly posted by the Telegraph, so that is credible news. And not only Barella is on the list for Newcastle United, but also Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves has been linked with them as well. His price tag is about 45 million pounds, so that is something good for them. But all I'm here speaking about these clubs. Why am I not speaking about Arsenal? Arsenal, yes, they missed out on the Premier League, but they need a replacement for Xhaka, who went to Bayer Leverkusen, and Declan Rice, not Clayton Rice, but Declan Rice, is that player who is on the list for them. Imagine having a Declan Rice in the midfield alongside a Party and a Odegaard. That is going to be beautiful. That is going to be crazy. But his price tag is about 100 million pound. I think Arsenal have to find a way to get Declan Rice in because he will just really and truly boost their midfield. Arsenal needs a striker. And Edu, he was a huge fan of Osimhen, but I spoke about Osimhen on the list for Chelsea. Could be at Manchester United as well, based on how the transfer window goes. But why isn't it that Mitrovic isn't on the list for Arsenal? Arsenal have a striker in Jesus who is a bit flexible and flary, playing in different positions. But sometimes you need a killer striker. Like a player who reminds you of like a Diego Costa, who was at Chelsea. So I think Mitrovic is like a reincarnation of such player. I think having Mitrovic in an Arsenal's team, leading the front line, could cause competition for a Jesus. Hopefully it doesn't cause any conflicts, but two different type of striker would be ideal. Similar to like a Rasmus Oyland, who is like a Erling Allen type of striker, could be good for Manchester United. But even though I spoke about having a Kylian Mbappe or like Victor Osimhen, I think Colomawani would bring something ideal to Manchester United because he replicates what Kane would do. So Colomawani is also on the list for Manchester United, and his price tag is about 80 million pound. But I was speaking about Declan Rice at Arsenal. I think he will be an ideal midfielder, and I think Arsenal will really and truly get Declan Rice in. Kai Havertz has been linked with Arsenal, and what do you think about that, fans of Arsenal? Do you think that Kai Havertz would be necessary in an Arsenal's team? I don't see the need to have him in the club because what does he contribute? He contributes something like scoring a little bit of goals, and I'm even tired to speak about Kai Havertz. Real Madrid is linked with him. Let him go to Real Madrid because I think he may find a way to play in a Madrid system. But Mitrovic is the rightful striker I think they should go for. Yeah, to bring competition to Jesus. And yes, Declan Rice, I want to say congrats to you as well in winning the Conference League. West Ham will be really and truly having you as a legend. And it would be top class news for such player to be in the club. Currently, Premier 7 though is doing something quite remarkable. 107 subscribers. I would love to gain some more subscriptions, but it is all about the fans, what the fans are in need of. But David Raya link with a move to Tottenham Aspirers. Really and truly, remember Hugo Lloris will be leaving Tottenham Hotspur, so they need not only a shot stopper, but a person who can distribute the ball quite well. And Araya would be like a kiss of a signing for Spurs. But do we want to go to Spurs? Is it really and truly a big upgrade for his career? Because Spurs will be losing Harry Kane more so to a Real Madrid, and Spurs without a Harry Kane, 12th place like a Chelsea or even less. So I'm not sure what he wants to do, but he have the potential to become a top class keeper. Let's just see how the transfer window goes on. And I'm just here to, bring some news that have been in circulation from before and have been out there for a person to hear. It has been a lot of news, and I made a promise, so I had to fulfill my promise in being here to deliver the news that have been in circulation. So let me just see what is taking place so far in regards to other clubs. Is Brighton gonna take in anyone because they're gonna lose some key players, So will Brighton be recruiting any new players? Maybe not, Not maybe not. They have to recruit a few players. Doesn't make any sense for them to just get the money and that's it. But I spoke about James Miller earlier on before. James Miller is booked to Brighton. So James Miller is the only person I think it's been really and truly confirmed. I want to do a little talk on Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney has been charged for breaching his gambling rules, and I think he'll be out for like 6 months. So, what would Brentford be doing to have somebody to fill his spot? So maybe things are quiet for them at this moment. Just saw news that Brentford has signed a goalkeeper who is called Flecking. So I think he will be the replacement for Raya. Let me see something here. Brentford transfer news: Bees line up move for Wolves, Charlotte. Hmm. Nathan Collins. A player I already know of. He has been playing for, I think, Wolves, based on the source, Pundit Feed. So that's the case for players of such. Hmm. Crystal Palace, though, Zaha needs to leave. And I think Arsenal can look on Zaha as well. He would integrate very well into the system. I was speaking about Mitrovic earlier on from Fulham, but if they get a Zaha to play in their front line, it would be killing. I tell you, it would be a killing front line. Yeah? And speaking about killing, Everton has killed the relegation battle because they have made their way to secure a chance to be in the Premier League. And Onana was a player who was being linked to Manchester United from Everton, but maybe they want to keep him as a player who can provide some form of stability to their midfield because Everton isn't the Everton like back in the days, you know. Pickford going to Manchester United? Hell no. Hell no. He better stay where he is. But he doesn't fit Manchester United system. Absolutely not. And Tyler Adams, who was relegated with Leeds, he was, I think, linked with Manchester United. Could be rumors. So nothing really and truly confirmed as yet because it is still early days. The only sure news that I'm sure about is like a McAllister, a James Milner, a Yuri Tillemans as the players who signed really for the other clubs. So I'm going to be available with some videos as well when players are being confirmed. I will keep you guys informed. So check out the video, of course. Continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Premier 7 for more awesome news updates and everything. Before I even go, I had a gaming segment to the channel because I have three parts of the channel. I have the podcast. This is not really a podcast, but I term it as a podcast because I'm showing my face. So it is my Premiere 7 podcast, which is the videos like this. I have regular videos in a playlist as well. You're not seeing me on screen, and I have the gaming. Let me know what you think about the videos because it is all about the hard work that I'm putting in to provide you with all of the updated information. I'm going to give you some more details within the few days to come. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for coming on board. I will speak to you within the few days to come. Bye bye.